What we do in the PAL project is I teach my SU students how to go into the city schools and use digital media, primarily photography, to enhance literacy. So each semester we roughly work with 180 city school students and roughly 40 to 50 Syracuse University students that work as mentors.
I understood it as a photography class, but there's a lot of writing involved. You really get to see that perspective fully and completely because you see the thoughts where the image came from, which you don't normally get to see.
A big part of what we do is keeping a journal, okay? So we're gonna give you blank journals that you're gonna fill up with your writing and your photographs, free-flowing thoughts. Doesn't matter if stuff's spelled right, doesn't matter if it's punctuated properly. And also, if you see, interesting images out of magazines, rip them out and put them in. If you find a wrapper that has a good color design that goes with something, put it in. So it's for lists, thoughts. Just what it is it's concrete manifestation of your day-to-day life. More than wanting them to be photographers, more than wanting them to be great writers, I want them to feel good about themselves, because early on, from day one in school, kids are tracked. It's especially by the time they're in high school, they know who the smart kid is, who can read well, who writes really well. They know the kid that won't do his homework. You give them a camera and give them an assignment. You put the pictures out on the table and you can't tell who the kid is that draws well, who the kid that's a straight A student, who the kid that just came over from Africa and speaks only a few words of English. So it levels the playing field in the ability to tell who you are. Anybody know what point of view is? I know some of y'all do. What's that? Exactly, how you see it, your point of view, which means that you take ownership of your interpretation or the interpretation you want to render. And you can do that through photography by putting the camera at different places. So what's going on here? Can anybody tell me? Is this a giant kid as big as a Ferris wheel? Where do you think the camera is? On the ground. If you're doing that, a worm's eye point of view, looking up, it makes the presence of that person seem bigger than it is. Where's the camera? It's eye level, and it's a kid. So if it's an adult taking the picture, what's the adult doing? They could be standing on one knee, so they're right level with them, right? Have you ever heard of the saying, we see eye to eye? That means you're kind of on a level playing field. You see eye to eye. Looking down, somebody looks, we already said it, right? Smaller, vulnerable, weak, maybe in need of help. It's called a bird's eye point of view. So that's 3 points of view that I want you to keep in mind when you're taking pictures, because all 3 of them are elements that will allow you to get the viewer to think differently about the same subject. So if you're honest about the pictures and you're honest with what you're writing, they go together because it's about you, it's about who you are. It's a really good opportunity because oftentimes people, especially adults, don't really listen to people y'all's age, right? Adolescents. I mean, do you feel unheard sometimes? Yeah. Right? So this is the opportunity to state whatever you want, and it will be on display, and a lot of people come through and read it and to hear what you have to say.
This program that Steve Mahan and Adam Lutwin have engaged in at the school has done a tremendous job in bringing out some really high-level achievement from our students. You're seeing some amazing work. It tells stories of families. It tells stories of kids growing up in our community and what they go through.
If you start thinking about the point of view when you're looking through a viewfinder, you're using your visual sense in your mind to think critically, to look at things from a different perspective, from a different point of view, and take ownership of that point of view. And the same thing with framing, right? It's a big, chaotic world out there. And that's one reason why photography was always so appealing to me, because it framed stuff and it filtered stuff out and it slowed things down and it calmed everything down. And that's what it does to these kids, whether they can articulate it or not, because that's what matters, what you choose to let in that frame and what you choose to keep out, what you bring into your life and what you keep out.